Hi, I'm Zoe Francois from Zoë Bakes and welcome to my kitchen. Today I am going to be filling a stacked cake. In a previous video, I showed you how to trim and slice your cake layers, so go check that out on my channel. But today I'm focusing on what goes inside of the cake. I am putting raspberry buttercream. It's a Swiss meringue buttercream, super smooth, really beautiful. I flavored it with raspberry preserves, and the recipe I will link to below. I am also going to add some lemon curd to the filling, and I'm doing this because it's delicious, but also because I want to show you how to add something that is slippery and loose, and I want to show you how to get it into your cake so that it's not moving around, that it's not going to slide all over the place, and that it's not going to ooze out of the sides. So there's a few tricks that you can do to make sure everything stays in place. The first thing that I'm gonna do is just get some of the buttercream into the cake. I've seen some people use a piping bag to do that. I just use my good old rubber spatula. When you're using buttercream, give it a good stir first to make sure that it doesn't have any big air bubbles in it, especially if it's been sitting for a little while. Just give it a stir so it's nice and smooth. And then we will start to put it onto the cake. I'm gonna it really depends how much you love the filling versus the cake. So if you want more cake and less filling, just put a skim of the buttercream on there just to sort of delineate the layers. If you love the filling, put more of it, especially a buttercream, because that has lots of body to it, and so you can use quite a bit. The kind of buttercream you use, totally up to you. And in fact, the fillings are totally up to you. You just want to make sure that, especially if you're building a really tall cake, that those fillings have some body. Like if you were to stack, I'm gonna do 4 layers, which is pretty tall. If I were to use whipped cream for that, this cake would be all over the place and I wouldn't have as much control over it. So I'm using something that has a lot of body, a lot of structure, so I know that my cake will not be shifting all over the place. I'm just gonna spread that out nice and evenly. I'm getting this right to the edge. If you are doing something like whipped cream, you want to leave a little gap. You don't want to go all the way to the edge because you don't want your whipped cream to sort of ooze out when you put the next layer on. So don't go all the way to the edge. With the buttercream, it's not going to shift around that much. So that looks like I have just shy of 1/4 of an inch of the buttercream. I'm gonna go with just a tiny, tiny bit more. Make sure it's even all the way around. I'm just using an offset spatula to do that. You can absolutely use the straight spatula as well, whatever feels more comfortable in your hand. There isn't a right or wrong way. I just find the offset more comfortable. And that's it. I have it nice and even. You can just put your next layer of cake right on top of that, but I want to show you how to add the lemon curd. I am going to use a piping bag fitted with a round piping tip, and I'm going to put some of my buttercream into it. Again, making sure that it doesn't have any big, let's get this over here. Making sure that it doesn't have any big air pockets in it. I fold down the piping bag so it has a cuff, and then I put my buttercream into the bag, probably just like a cup and a half of it. And then I can put that aside. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take that buttercream that's in the bag and I'm gonna pipe a dam around the edge of my cake. So right on top of that buttercream that you just spread out, along the edges, piping around a circle all the way around to create a dam. So now you can see that I have that edge of buttercream going all the way around my cake, right along the edge. Now I have somewhere to put the lemon curd. This lemon curd actually has a bit of body to it, but once I start moving it, once I start to spread it, it's gonna break down a little bit and get even softer. The other thing about lemon curd is that when you refrigerate it, it doesn't change its consistency. It's going to stay soft. Whereas the buttercream, when I put it into the refrigerator, is going to harden up a little bit because of all the butter in there. So you want to make sure that your lemon curd is gonna stay still. So I'm just gonna put that right into the center and I'm gonna grab a little spatula. This little spatula is easier to maneuver with this filling inside without hitting the dam that I just piped in there. So there, I need a little bit more to get all the way to the edge. Obviously, the amount that you're using will be determined by the size of the cake. I will have all of the recipes and the sizes that I am using linked below so that you can follow along if you like. And that's it. So now I have the buttercream on there, I put the dam, and then I put my lemon curd so that it will not move around. And now I'm just gonna do that exact same thing with 2 more layers of the cake. So my next layer will go right on there, and you can see that because I put that dam, the lemon curd is not oozing out. It's being trapped in there by the buttercream dam. So, next layer, same thing. Okay, as you are filling it, you want to make sure that your cake is going straight up and down, unless, of course, you're going for that sort of cat in the hat look. But I want mine to go straight up and down. So as I am adding the layers to it, I'm also checking that it's straight. Straight up and down. Looks awesome. So now I have my cake completely filled. I have the layers of cake, I have the buttercream, and I have the lemon curd. There's no lemon curd coming out of there. It's completely encased because I did that buttercream dam. So you can add fruit fillings or preserves or lemon curd or anything that you want. Caramel would be great, and this would trap it in there. Now it's time to decorate. So you can take your filled cake and you can do a crumb coat. I have a video on how to do that. And then your final layer of icing. I also have a video on how to do that. So please check them out. You can also leave this just as it is, cover up the top, and do what's called a naked cake. So we're not really going to put a final layer of frosting on the outside of the cake. I'll put one right on the top just to clean the top up a little bit, but I'm going to leave the sides naked. That's why it's called a naked cake. So if you want the filling, but you don't want a lot of icing on it, or you just like the way it looks with the layers showing, that is perfectly legit. There's the poodle. He wants to go out. Okay, so just finish up. Okay, so just finish up the top and decorate it, and you are ready to go. I love the way that looks. And that's it. You have a beautiful naked cake, and we'll just maybe put some berries and some flowers on top, and voila, you've decorated your cake. So that's it. We've filled our cake. Now you can move on and do a crumb coat and a final coat of your buttercream. I have videos for both of those, so please check them out. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe and share it with your friends and come back and bake with me some more.